today's essential question: how are character traits useful in writing? Our lesson objective: I can use character traits to describe the main character of a story. Vocabulary: adjectives and character traits. We've been talking about these all week long, so you should really be a genius with these. Thinking globally. About our sparkle words again, or adjectives, same thing. Joyful is a sparkle word. The joyful choir made me sing while I listened to them. People all over the world use adjectives. In Korea, joyful is Julyu Jeon. And guess what? Miss Harrell actually lived in Korea when she was younger. I lived in Seoul, right here where that black dot is. That's where Miss Harrell lived. So this says choose your read. So when you do your activity, you can pick between the two. But I am going to pick Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire.
Hey, happy readers! Welcome to Children's Books Read Aloud by Happy Cultivated. Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon. Written by Patty Lovell, illustrated by David Catrow. Click that subscribe button for more children's books. Molly Lou Melon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proudly as you can, and the world will look up to you." So she did. Molly Lou Melon had buck teeth that stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big and the world will smile right alongside you." So she did. Molly Lou Melon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." So she did. Molly Lou Melon was often fumble-fingered. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too." So she did. Then Molly Lou Melon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends and start in a new school. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Melon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, "Wow, she's good," and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Melon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck. Honk, honk." Molly Lou Melon sang out a quack so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she'd made the snowflake all wrong. But Molly Lou Mellon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and awed, even Ronald. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Mellon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. That night, Molly Lou Mellon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Mellon. Thanks for reading with Happy Cultivated.
Okay, now for our activity is to describe Molly Lou Mellon. So, you need to think of at least 3 things to describe her. So, using character traits from the story, I could say a word like cute because I really think that Molly Lou Mellon was kind of cute. Just look at her with that crazy hair. You need to come up with more words to describe. And then you are going to complete your activity. This says, let's complete character trait craftivity. Instead of activity, craftivity. So it says, choose one character trait that describes Chrysanthemum or Molly Lou Mellon, whichever story you read or listened to, and justify how you know that that character was that specific word. Then draw your best picture of the character that you chose that displays the character trait that you decided. Then you are going to, you're going to write it on here. Choose one to describe the character selected. So if you chose Chrysanthemum, do that one, or Molly Lou Mellon, do that one. If you want to do both, that's great. You can do both. Then you can record yourself answering the questions below or take a picture of your answers that are completed on a separate sheet of paper. And your last activity, we'll make this a little bit bigger for you guys, is to read the questions below and write the words to describe. So, write an adjective that describes an apple. Write an adjective that describes a princess. Write an adjective that describes a skunk. Ooh, I can think of one. Write a character trait that describes your mom. And write a character trait that describes Mickey Mouse. So, those are your activities. You can write them on a separate sheet of paper. Please do not record. If you want to write your answers on the slide, that's fine, but please don't record yourself reading these answers. Have a great day.